I know Tex, he's not that kind of guy. He couldn't have killed these folks. Mantis, the Morlock, Tex, I've got witnesses.
All right. I'll take your word for it for now, but I'll keep my eye on him before I make any exceptions again. Keep yourself clean.
Appreciate that. The real reason I had to come down here.
Chelsee.
But you said I said Chelsee needed someone. But you can give her so much more. Now, I've thought this all through. And the only way that I see this working out is with you getting into that speeder with her.
But
the way that you feel for her. That's what she deserves. I want you two to have what I couldn't.
But
Mason gave me a trans-inducer. To use in an emergency. It can take her back to the moment where your memory ends and give you both a fresh start.
But
Listen, think of this as your happily ever after ending.
But do I have to take your speeder because my speeder's over here?
You're on your own from here. Go get your girl.
Thanks for helping us out, boy.
Murph, I wouldn't have missed this for the world.
After I give you the trans-inducer, you're gonna be pretty confused.
Murph thought he was dreaming for a couple of days.
That's why I thought having Louis here would help.
It's always better to have Louis here.
Plus, you got that video we took. If Murph and I can't convince you, you always got that.
Thank you, Louis.
You gonna need any help with that injection?
I think we got it.
I'll be right over here.
Chelsee, are you sure about this? I mean, I don't want to change your mind, but this is going to change everything.
Like I told you, Tex, if there was a way I could go back in time, I'd do it.
I feel kind of bad, you know, about,
About Thompson?
Yeah.
Don't. Because what he and I had won't change. It doesn't have to change. I never felt that way about him like I do about you. And he'll always be my very dear friend. And besides, he insists on giving me away.
Well, that's good, because if he didn't, I'd have to steal you away.
No. He's giving me away.
As in, walking down the aisle.
I hope you want to put a new ring on this finger.
Oh, I do, Miss Bando, I do. Are you ready?
I have I've never been more ready for anything in my whole life.
I love you, Chelsea.
Tex.
Oh no!
What's wrong?
My speeder!
What?
It's been stolen!
Let's walk.
Okay.
Sandwich? What are you doing here?
I put a tracking app on your smart Alex when you let me download that video of Bowers.
Serves me right for trusting a cop. You've been tailing me the whole time?
No, I wanted to trust you, I really did. But you're a suspect in some unsolved cases, and I thought, possibly and quite likely, you'd go back to your old MO at some point. Tex Murphy, you're under arrest.
You're arresting me? For what?
For the murder of Jim Slade and another as yet unidentified male.
I didn't have anything to do with
The bodies were thrown from Coit Tower, and we have witnesses that saw you leave the scene immediately after.
Now I can explain that. It's...
I understand. Slade was a very bad man, and probably deserved it. But I told you before, I won't tolerate vigilantism.
Lieutenant, wait. I have something for you. Evidence of a mass murder that took place at the Tesla Legacy Society. It's related to at least 3 unsolved disappearances in your jurisdiction.
That's very interesting, and we'll talk about it as soon as I make this arrest.
No, hold on. Slade is the one who led this mass murder.
You have evidence of this?
I've got everything. Eyewitness testimony, sworn affidavits, even security video of the attack. You can resolve a bunch of cases and give closure to the victims' families.
And in exchange for this evidence?
Let Tex go. He's done nothing wrong. If he'd come to you, you wouldn't have been able to do anything. He risked his own life to do the right thing. I think he's a hero.
This is the last exception I make for you.
Well, fine by me. I mean, when am I going to find myself in this situation again?
You get those files to me?
Right away. Thank you, Lieutenant.
Let's do lunch. So, you saved my bacon.
I kind of like your bacon.
Well, I'm just not used to somebody saving me.
But that's what partners do, right? What do you say, cowboy?
Yeah, what do you say? I'd say it's been a while since I saddled up, but I like your form.
I think you'd be impressed with how well I performed down the backstretch.
Well, I must say you're pretty impressive coming out of the gate.
It all depends on who's in the saddle.
Are we talking about the same thing?
I know what I'm talking about.
What are you doing here?
I put a tracking app on your smart Alex when you let me download that video of Bowers.
Serves me right for trusting a cop. You've been tailing me ever since?
No. I wanted to trust you, I really did. But you're a suspect in some unsolved cases, and I thought, possibly and quite likely, you'd go back to your old MO at some point. Tex Murphy, you're under arrest.
You're arresting me? For what?
For the murder of Jim Slade and another as yet unidentified male.
I didn't have anything to do with
The
it.
bodies were thrown from Coit Tower, and we have witnesses that saw you leave the scene immediately after.
Now that I can explain.
I understand Slade was a very bad man, and probably deserved it. But I told you before, I won't tolerate vigilantism.
You can put those handcuffs away.
I don't know who you are, but I advise you not to get involved.
I said put those handcuffs away, or you'll be wearing a set of your own. This is military property. You're out of your jurisdiction, Lieutenant. National Surveillance Agency will take it from here.
I'm gonna need to see more than a badge and take your word for it.
I am giving you one chance to walk away. It's all gonna go down the same no matter what you do. But if you don't want your career completely and utterly destroyed, I'd walk away.
I have 2 unsolved murders on my hands. I'm supposed to walk away from that?
I'd suggest rounding up the usual suspects. It might be a good idea for you to disappear from Chandler Avenue for a while. The White Guard is meeting next week. I could be induced to arrange a passage.
Well, I could use a trip.
They have very deep pockets. Enough to cover our expenses.
Our expenses.
Uh-huh.
Ariel, I believe this is the beginning of a completely unhealthy relationship.
Perhaps.
What are you doing here?
I put a tracking app on your smart Alex when you let me download that video of Bowers.
Serves me right for trusting a cop. You've been tailing me ever since?
No. I wanted to trust you, I really did. But you're a suspect in some unsolved cases, and I thought, possibly and quite likely, you'd go back to your old MO at some point. Tex Murphy, you're under arrest.
You're arresting me? For what?
For the murder of Jim Slade and another as yet unidentified male.
I didn't have anything to do with
The
it.
bodies were thrown from Coit Tower, and we have witnesses that saw you leave the scene immediately after.
Now that I can explain.
I understand Slade was a very bad man, and probably deserved it. But I told you before, I won't tolerate vigilantism.
Hello, mate.
Have a drink. I saved my first one to have with you.
I see that. Who's your girlfriend?
That's Saffyre. How'd you go powder your nose, honey? west. The Petrified Forest.
We interrupt your programming here at New San Francisco Voice Channel 6 for an urgent bulletin. A tragedy in our fair metropolis today as all 3 members of the Knights Templar without a K have been found murdered in the sewers near Telegraph Hill. The images we're about to show are graphic and may be upsetting to some viewers. This trio of self-proclaimed superheroes have, according to their blogs, been protecting our city from the forces of darkness, and indeed, violent crime is down almost 0.5%. Putting our crime rate only slightly higher than Syria. Recent tweets from the victims describe battles against an invading army of Morlocks, the fictional characters from H.G. Wells' Time Machine. When asked to comment on the slain Crusaders, one police officer at the scene said, quote, "Hell, they probably killed each other on accident." So while we may not have witnessed the gallant exploits of these stealthy vigilantes, or even once experienced the terror and destruction of demon spawn, it is with a heavy heart that we here at the New San Francisco Voice say to the Knights Templar without a K, thank you. Now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Hi, this is Chelsea, and if we're playing phone tag, I guess I'm it. So leave a message and have a great day.
Hi, Chelsea, it's Tex. I got your number from your husband, so I could say goodbye. I'm going away. Man, it sure didn't work out the way I'd hoped. I always thought you and I'd be together, but they can turn on a person in the cruelest way. I know you've got someone who cares for you deeply and can take care of all your needs. I guess I never could seem to pull things together and offer you the life and security you deserve. Maybe if I'd taken a different path, it might have worked out. My hope now is that you'll have the joy with Thompson that I wish I could have brought you. But you'll always be my special girl. Bye.